Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm. Thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands, and many people with thee.
This is a Fox News alert, a critical deadline now just 2.5 hours away. Ukrainian government officials say Russia has given them an ultimatum: surrender in Crimea or face a military assault. Moscow now denying the ultimatum, but tensions are growing. For the latest Fox News radio reporter, Jessica Gulliver, she is live in Crimea. Jessica.
Russian forces have really made a real presence within the last 24 hours here. They've captured a ferry port, captured an infantry base just east of Sevastopol, where I am, told the Ukrainian soldiers either you're with us or against us. The Coast Guard, Ukrainian Coast Guard, has moved several of their ships away from key ports here out into the Black Sea, maintaining they still are loyal to Kiev. The head of Ukraine's Navy has surrendered after only 2 days on the job. He faces treason charges. And I bury the lead, as you mentioned. The Ukrainian Navy says that they have been given an ultimatum by Moscow: either surrender 2 key Navy bases here, or there will be a real assault. It's also unclear as to whether it's just Navy installations or it's also infantry. Moscow coming out to say that's absolute rubbish. We never said that, but a very, very tense situation here. And the deadline is in about 3 hours.
We only have 30 seconds left, but what do you get sort of the sense of the people on the ground, the civilians?
It's either disbelief or rah, rah, Russia. Some people are, a lot of the Russians, a lot of the people here are ethnic Russian speakers. Some of them are very happy that Russian forces are here because they feel like they're going to be targeted. Others who do speak Russian and are ethnic Russian say that they're not exactly in favor of the government in Kiev, but they certainly don't want thousands of troops here in their backyard, and they're afraid. And, quite frankly, there's real reason to be.
Jessica, thank you.
My pleasure.
Good evening, everybody. Breaking news tonight. There are conflicting accounts of claims that we are just hours away from a Russian strike against Ukrainian military bases on the Crimean Peninsula and Ukrainian naval vessels in the Black Sea. Russia denies that they have made any such threats to the Ukrainian government. One of those threats was described as an order to the interim Ukrainian government to surrender their arms and their facilities by 10 p.m. Eastern Time tonight, or face a broad, intensive Russian military assault. As you see there on your screen, Russian tanks outside Ukrainian bases. They've been moving into position, the forces of Russia moving into position around the facilities and bases on the Crimea. As of right now, those Russian forces have surrounded 10 Ukrainian military and naval bases. The Russian ambassador to the United Nations, claiming that deposed President Viktor Yanukovych formally requested that the Russian military intervene to protect ethnic Russians in the Crimean Peninsula. Here is Ambassador Vitaly Churkin at the UN Security Council this afternoon.
The president of Russia has received the following from President Yanukovych, and I quote the statement of the president of Ukraine. As a legitimately elected representative, I say that the events in my place and the events in Kiev have resulted in the fact that Ukraine is on the brink of a civil war. I would call on the president of Russia, Mr. Putin, asking him to use the armed forces of the Russian Federation to establish legitimacy, peace, law and order, stability, and defending the people of Ukraine.
Our ambassador, U.S. Ambassador Samantha Power, absolutely blasted the Russian Federation, calling their justification for militarizing Crimea a lie. At the same time, Ambassador Power did not use the words invasion or incursion to describe the Russian military's actions in Crimea.
So many of the assertions made this afternoon by the Russian Federation are without basis in reality. It is a fact that Russia has surrounded or taken over practically all Ukrainian military facilities in Crimea. It is a fact that today Russian jets entered Ukrainian airspace. It is also a fact that independent journalists continue to report that there is no evidence of violence against Russian or pro-Russian communities.
For their part, the Russians are still denying that they've threatened military action if Ukraine fails to surrender in the Crimea. We will know within a matter of hours, as I said, just what the Russian intent is. Irrespective, President Obama and the European Union are now threatening to level economic sanctions against Russia if Russia refuses to stand its forces down. President Obama says he's looking to isolate Russia. That will be tough to achieve given the European Union's reliance on Russia for much of its energy. More than 30% of the EU's oil and gas and just under 30% of their coal is imported from Russia.
Over time, this will be a costly proposition for Russia. And now's the time for them to consider whether they can serve their interests in a way that resorts to diplomacy as opposed to force.
The president at this hour is meeting with his National Security Council on Ukraine. But our first guest tonight says the only relevant question is how much of the Ukraine will Putin take for now?